Hi everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Natalie. If this is the first time that you're watching my videos, thank you for being here. I hope that if you enjoy what I do and share here on this channel, you can consider subscribe and share with your friends. I am a Western tropical astrologer and I use a whole sign house system for all my forecasts and readings. This video we are talking about October 6 to 12 of 2025. So today, right now, when I'm recording and uploading this video, it's Monday here in Vancouver. Today is the day of the Aries full moon. It is also in my culture. I'm from Hong Kong. It is the Mid-Autumn Festival where we celebrate the harvest moon. It is always on the 15th, which is a full moon of the 8th month in the lunar calendar, and it is known to be the day where we mark that we are in the middle of autumn season. That is why it is called Mid-Autumn Festival, 中秋節. And as it continued to evolve, it's been celebrated in our culture for over 3,000 years. So we do have the name a little bit evolve into the moon festival or the moon cake festival, because moon cake is what we eat as a symbol to celebrate this full moon. So, and also lanterns, and this is the day that we give thanks to our ancestor and to nature, to the moon. The moon is a very important element in the lunar calendar, in the Asian Chinese culture. We also celebrate and remember our ancestor, how they protect us, and the nature, how it gives us the harvest, because this is also the time where we celebrate our harvest. We take in the harvest, we sort them out, and we're starting to prepare for winter season. So this is a time that it is also celebrated with families, you know, the moon coming to a full, celebrating the harvest with family, reminding us the importance of family and our heritage, our ancestor being together, you know, back then, the hunter-gatherer era. So yeah, I hope that today you can also take a moment during this full moon to celebrate how far you've come. And as we prepare for colder season in the northern hemisphere, to take stock of what's been happening in your life, different areas of your life around the world, and how you are showing up, you know, for yourself, for the relationships around you, for the collective in the world, and take stock of what's you've been doing, know that how far you have come, and take a time to feel so proud of yourself. And also remember the harvest, the abundance that's around you, that's available to you, and yeah, celebrate with your loved one, whether this is your blood related or chosen family, or your loved ones, friends, wherever you are in the world. Sending you so much love. So let's dive into this week's astrology. First of all, October 6th, right before the full moon, we have Mercury enter Scorpio. October 6, 9:41 a.m. Pacific time, or October 7, 12:41 a.m. Hong Kong time. So just the time according to where you are in the world. Mars is already in Scorpio. Mercury is joining Mars today, entering the sign of Scorpio, and we can feel the Scorpion energy getting louder and bigger, because we're also stepping into the fall Scorpio season soon. My favorite time of the year, October, the fall, and the Scorpio season. Sorry, a little bit biased. I am a Scorpio sun and stellium, so I'm getting really excited. I can also feel more energized, and just like the oomph is coming back to me, which I needed it. The past couple of months has been a little bit of a struggle. But let's continue. Mercury in Scorpio is a very different vibe compared to Mercury in Libra. Imagine Mercury in Scorpio is that quiet detective, that investigative journalist that is working behind the scene. This is the brain behind the curtain, working in the shadow and planning, plotting, waiting for the right movement to take action, to say your thing, do your thing kind of energy. This transit is the time if you really if you are a researcher, writer, or you're needing to do some kind of research, this is a great transit, Mercury in Scorpio, to just deep dive into rabbit holes and to research and just, you know, like just jump into all those, not dark web, but like different dark hole, black hole of like investigation, researching and getting what you need and finding out all the information you need, right? So this is the period of time to do so if your work or whatever you're doing requires of that. Mercury in Scorpio, I think out of all the 12 Mercury in 12 different zodiac signs, Mercury in Scorpio is the quiet one, like the muted, non-verbal one, like, because Mercury is about communication, talking, thinking, right? Expressing your idea. But Mercury in Scorpio is probably just like that one at the back, thinking, waiting, observing. And it's more quiet, it's more intuitive. It likes to, it goes into like a quiet, deep thinking mode. It's less talkative, it's more of an observer and quiet thinker kind of energy. And I can attest to that. I do have Mercury in Scorpio, and that's very much like me. I am just also having other placements that make me that kind of introverted extrovert in some way, that I can be more talkative when it's small groups, when I feel safe enough, when I feel like there's something I can offer or I can say. It's also because I love what I'm doing, which is what I'm doing right now. That's why I worked up my Sag courage, that I also have a lot of Sag energy in me to show up here, do what I do. And yes, but yeah, I can attest to that Mercury and Scorpio energy. Yes, so this is more about and also one thing about Mercury and Scorpio, right? I can't just say all good stuff. While it is focused, it is very determined, it's not easy to give up. Like once they want to know something, they'll get to the bottom of it. You cannot lie to Mercury in Scorpio, okay? So yeah, but the shadow side of it is not that relentless of wanting the truth or knowing the truth, that it can get sometimes obsessive and even possessive, and like I need to know, right? I need to get to the bottom of this, and they won't budge or they don't give up easily until they dig down to find out the truth, which can be good but also can be a scary thing sometimes, right? Because you're so stressed of needing to know and get to the bottom of it, right? And it can be very stubborn and not knowing when to let go or give up sometimes. So beware of that energy as well. Mercury is going to stay in Scorpio on and off until mid-December, 11 to 12, depending where you are in the world. Yes, you know where I'm going. We are having a Mercury retrograde soon in the sign of Sagittarius and Scorpio. So that is why it will be on and off, because Mercury will eventually come back retrograde and station direct in the sign of Scorpio. Let's talk about the Aries full moon that is happening on the same day. It's happening on October 6, 8:47 p.m. Pacific time, or October 7, 11:47 a.m. Hong Kong time, with the sun at 14 degrees 8 minutes in the sign of Libra and the moon 14 degrees 8 minutes in the sign of Aries. This Aries full moon is loud. It can be intense. It is a supermoon, so supermoon means it's closer to the earth, so we're seeing a bigger, fuller, brighter moon, and moon governs our emotions. So whenever we have a supermoon, it tends to get a little bit louder, more intense. We can feel it a bit more. It's more emotional. So yeah, and it's happening in a fire sign, Aries, so of course it's gonna be loud, right? This is also the first lunation that is happening in the sign of Aries that is not an eclipse finally after 2 years since 2023. Because the past couple of years, we have the axes, the nodes of fate, North Node, South Node in Aries and Libra. So we were having eclipses in the sign of Aries and Libra. The last Aries eclipse was during March 29, happening at 9 degrees, I believe, in the sign of Aries. And so that was, 6 months-ish ago. Now we are having the full moon in Aries. So this is a check-in point with what's been happening since end of March, what's been unfolding within, around you, on a collective level, different areas of your life. And this is the time to look back and see what is the fruition of it. If there is something that is accumulating or illuminating up for you to tell you more about what's been unfolding and developing. And since this is also the first lunation in the sign of Aries that is not an eclipse, this is also a check-in point with what's been unfolding and happening for you the past couple of years when we have all those eclipses in Aries and Libra. There might be a focus on relationships because whenever we talk about the axes of Aries and Libra, there is a focus on relationship. It's like me versus we, right? Because Aries is the sign of I am, myself, right? And Libra is the relational sign of we, of us, of me versus other people and the collective, right? So this can be a full moon that is showing, illuminating relational matters and different perhaps relationship that needs you to look at this time. Maybe this is a time to also reflect on the changes and shifts in relationships in your personal world and how you relate to the collective, that is that how you're showing up, right? How you're showing up for yourself, for people around you, the one-on-one relationships around you, but also how you show up in the collective. Where do you stand? How do you show up? Are you showing up authentically? Are your values still intact and aligned with people in your life, different relationships, or the collective? Things might have changed and shifted over the past couple of years, or perhaps this full moon is illuminating the changes and shifts that you need to know, right? Maybe there's a conversation that you need to have with somebody. Maybe this is the time to see what needs to be done, what needs to be changed and shift in order to move forward. Perhaps this is cutting away from some relationship, cutting away with people that no longer serves you, that drains your energy, that don't see eye to eye to you in terms of values and stuff, because this ruler of this Aries full moon is Mars. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio, and Mars right now is in Scorpio, so this ruler is strong, is dignified, it is right there and not making any specific harsh or very specific aspect. It's just there. So this is a very strong and just focused, determined full moon that is just here to show you what needs to be seen, what needs to be done, right? Because we have that Mars in Scorpio that is determined, focused to get things done. Mars is that cutting away energy. So that's why I was saying maybe this full moon will show you what you need to cut yourself from, right? Maybe this is a bad behavior or values that no longer you align with, people, a situation, relationship that drains you or no longer align with you, whatever that is, right? Mars also talk about taking action, right? So perhaps this full moon is taking strategic action because Mars is in Scorpio. You don't just like, no shade to Aries, okay? Not like gun blazing and just do it, but you need that energy, balancing those energy, right? Perhaps you need that oomph, that drive, that motivation, that just do it, that fuck around and find out energy from Aries to just initiate, start, cut away something, right? Or people in your life, right? Or values or whatever that is. But this is also knowing when to act, when to take that action, right? Using that Mars and Scorpio energy that this full moon might ask us to show up a little bit more differently, asking us to be a little bit braver and more courageous in the way we take action, right? To show up and show up for yourself, show up for people around you. How do you want to show up? And to the collective, there's so much happening around the world right now that is really asking us to dig deeper within that inner fire within us. What do you want to believe in? What do you want to show up for, stand up for, speak up about? And how do you do that? And you will see people that stand with you, and you will see people that disagree with you. Then how do you take action to act, right? This full moon in Aries is happening in the second decan of Aries, which is represented by the Three of Wands. So this Three of Wands, this energy, the person is holding those wands, standing by them and looking out to the future, right? This is about believing, knowing, having that inner fire to guide you, leading to what it is that you desire in life, and knowing that you are going to get it. You might not know exactly when, how, but you know, you are focused, you're looking out, but you have specific spot, you have an idea what you're looking out into the future, right? This is what I want, I know it's coming, and I know what kind of actions I need to take in order to bring me closer to what I want, what I desire, right? This is looking and zooming and focusing and kind of like calculating, planning, and knowing my steps and when to strike. That Mars and energy, Mars and Scorpio energy as well, right? On October 7, one day right after Mercury enters Scorpio, it is going to come up with a square with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius at 1 degree. So this can be a hard one. We did have Mars squaring Pluto back in September 24th, right around the eclipse. So it might bring up something that happened around that time. Now Mercury wants to talk about it, right? Maybe something happened towards the end of September during eclipse season, and now you are reflecting, thinking, processing, and maybe communicating, expressing that with whoever you need to, right? And today can be that maybe some hard, tough, taboo even conversation might come up that need you to talk to. You might find a need to talk to someone, right? Maybe there's a tough conversation that needs to be had. Maybe something needs to be addressed. Maybe on the collective world, there is some power struggle dynamics issue, of course, with what is happening around the world, of course. It might be a tough conversation. It might feel a little bit overwhelmed. It might send some people into dark places, so take care of yourself. This is a day where you might be in a conversation, or you might receive information, hear something, or see the news, and that can destabilize you or send you into a dark, deep excavating mode to maybe dig deeper within you, to ask you, what is your truth? What do you think? How do you want to align with this, right? And also make sure that if you do feel like you are going into a dark space, you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed, you have grounding or somatic works that is going to be able to help ground you. The next day, I love it. October 8th, we have Venus in Virgo, sextile Jupiter in Cancer at 23 degrees. We need today, okay? After this big, loud, intense full moon eclipse season, and also maybe some tough, hard conversational news on the 7th, today the sextile between Venus and Jupiter want us to take a deep breath and exhale. Take a little bit of a breather, rest if you need or if you can. This is a self-care, self-love day. Maybe this is a time to retreat back into your home, Jupiter in Cancer, and just enjoy some downtime. This is the day where you want to just do nothing but rest. Maybe this is a time where you might want to do something to relax yourself, your nervous system. Maybe go on a spa day, go on a massage. This is from Venus and Virgo, taking care of your health, having a nourishing meal, cooking something that you enjoyed, or retreating back in your home, Jupiter in Cancer. Okay, so this is a day to remind us that while we continue to do what we have to do, show up for ourselves, people in our life, the world, fighting for what we believe in, it is also important to pour back into our cup. Otherwise, how do we show up? Lastly, October 11, we have Venus in Virgo opposed Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 26 degrees. Okay, a very different aspect between Venus today opposing Saturn. This can be a day where it can reactivate the Virgo solar eclipse at the end of September, because the eclipse was opposing Saturn. So it might be a continuation of the eclipse story for some of us. This can be a day where it's just like a no, a roadblock, a stop, no more rejection. But always remember, this can also be a blessing in disguise. This can also be a universe redirection for us, to something that is more aligned, that's better, that's more suitable for us later when we look back and reflect on. And sometimes whenever there's a harsh, like a square opposition with Saturn, even the less harsh one, like sextile or trine or whatever, when there's an aspect with Saturn, sometimes we are being invited to embody that Saturn energy, right? Today can be a day where you feel like there need to be boundary setting, right? Virgo in Venus opposing Saturn. This is maybe a day where you feel like there's a need to set boundary with someone or something. This can be a day where there's a reality check, like, okay, well, this is not working. I need to do something about it. I need to address it. Venus can also associate with feminine associate figures. This is maybe perhaps setting a boundary with them, or having a no or rejection or a tough conversation, right? It can feel a bit tough, uneasy, uncomfortable, disappointed, right? This can also be a day where maybe you are feeling it yourself. You might feel a little bit like a beat down energy, like, ugh, like icky and comfortable, or disappointed about yourself, right? Oh my God, like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not showing up the way I want to, blah, blah, blah. But also remember to give yourself grace, right? Whenever you feel that energy, it is an invitation to move it, to see how you can move this energy. So yeah, this is our week, a mixed bag of energy. There's, a lot. So take care of yourself. And if you're interested to work with me, I offer all kinds of astrology consultations and readings. I do tarot and akashic records reading, and I offer distant Reiki energy healing session. So if that's what you're interested, contact me. My email is in the description box. Comment below, connect with me, follow me over on Instagram. And in the meanwhile, I am sending you all so much love. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.